new temporary home little white block. Ready? All right. Hell yeah. Man, Alright, so that was a successful trip to get the new engine for the 39 Ford Forgotten Hot Rod that we've been working on. I was, as soon as I got the 39, basically putting out my feelers to like everyone I knew to try and find a Y block. You guys who watch this channel, a lot of people are complaining they can't find parts, things are expensive, all these different excuses. This is a perfect example. Basically all I did was I sent a ton of text messages, made a bunch of phone calls, posted on social media that I was looking for a Y block, and I got a handful of leads from a bunch of really great people, and I was able to kind of pick and choose and find one that was kind of like the best scenario for me, that wasn't real far away, was pretty darn cheap, and was something that I felt warm and fuzzy that it was going to actually be a runner and not a boat anchor. So what we got here is a 292 out of a 55 T-Bird. This was through a friend of a friend type deal, and basically they purchased a older restored 55 T-Bird that didn't have a lot of miles on it, and the engine was gone through, and then it was driven very, very little before it was torn apart and basically turned into a street rod. Some people might get, purists might get a little angry about that, but it's the world we live in. Unfortunately, buying older restorations is probably the cheapest route for building a modified vehicle. And luckily for me, it worked out really well, because I got this engine that is beyond expectations. It has like everything new on it or redone on the whole entire car, from the fan on the front that even still has like the sticker on it, hose clamps, the coil, pretty much like fuel pump, like all the accessories and different tune-up stuff have all been like replaced and basically look like pretty much like new. I had verification that this engine and car was basically driven around to verify its condition before it was all pulled apart. So I feel pretty good that this thing's going to be something that we can basically slap in the 39 and just drive it, which is what I was looking for. We're trying to keep the cost down and also keep the project under control, kind of the exact opposite of the free T. So I got this engine for right around 500 bucks, and then I had to trade my old engine so that they could use it for mock-up or a core for a future rebuild. So that was kind of like the friend price, which was really nice. And again, just goes to show if you do some phone calls and asking around, sometimes you can find something for a really good deal that's kind of in somebody's way and good timing. So now that I have this engine, I can kind of tuck it away in the corner. I think I want to get rid of the teapot carburetor. I'm not sure. We may mock everything up with it in and see if we can get it to run with this carburetor, but really what I would like to get is some sort of intake with like dual, like 297s on it, I think. 397s might be a little bit overkill, but maybe if we hook them up with progressive linkage, it would be okay. But at the very least, I would love to get an intake on here that has 297s on it, to kind of look the part of the old hot rod and get away from this carburetor. Maybe it's just me not having experience with it, but I hear all the horror stories about these carburetors, and it makes me not want to run it for more than just maybe firing it up in the car. So we're going to work on getting a couple little odds and ends for this. So I'm going to strip off all the extra stuff. It's got factory power steering on it, so I'm going to probably pull that off and offer that up for sale. And any other little odds and ends, I'm going to probably pull these exhaust manifolds off and try and find a set of headers maybe that I can use or modify. So little stuff like that. But now that we have a good engine, we can kind of, once we get the chassis like all cleaned up and everything, we can throw this engine back in and start redoing the firewall in the car and kind of figuring out what we need to do to correct all of those old modifications. So huge step getting the heart for the 39 Ford. This is something I thought was going to take a lot longer than it did, and I'm really psyched that we got it. So quick little update on the 39. For you guys that are just starting to follow along, we do videos on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. If you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications, a little bell that will notify you when we have a new video out, and you guys can get in there and see the content as soon as it comes out. And definitely follow me on Instagram. I'm posting day-to-day stuff all the time, and you guys can get updates on these projects that are in between the normal videos. That's all I got for this one, guys. Appreciate it. Catch you later.